Councillors, officers and members of the public, welcome to the 6th of May 2026 Ordinary Meeting of Council. We'll get started by the prayer by Councillor Keogh.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Almighty God, be with us as we work for the people of the Shire of Moorabool. Grant us wisdom that we may care for the Shire as true stewards of your creation. May we be aware of the great responsibilities placed upon us. Help us to be just in all our dealings, and may our work prosper for the good of all. Amen.
Amen. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we're meeting. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and the Aboriginal elders of other communities who may be here today. In accordance with Moorabool Shire Council meeting procedure, local law, the Council will be recording this meeting. The following organisations have also been granted permission to make an audio recording: the Moorabool News and the Star Weekly. We currently have Councillor Ward, who's not present. We'll go to the confirmation of minutes from the ordinary meeting on Wednesday, the 1st of April, and the special council meeting on the 15th of April. Can I get a mover for that? Councillor Keogh. Seconder? Councillor Bingham. All in favour? Carried. Disclosure of conflict of interest, there are none. Public question time. Councillors received 3 questions from the public, and they will be read and responded to by Phil Jeffries, General Manager, Community Assets, first.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The first question is from Jenny Taylor. The question is, there has been a massive increase in EV purchases since the last council meeting. When will Bacchus Marsh be installing public chargers? Profitability would have now increased. Apparently Ampol is already set up, they just need to be installed. And the response is, the installation of public EV chargers is generally limited to private properties and public spaces via a charge point operator. At present, there are no public EV chargers installed in Moorabool Shire. The Ampol service station in Gisborne Road, Darley, has a planning permit condition to install one by March 2027, subject to power and operator availability. In terms of other sites, council staff are currently developing a business case to be presented to a council meeting in the coming months to inform council's position on the potential installation of EV chargers.
Thank you. The next 2 questions will be by David Jackson, General Manager, Customer and Corporate Services.
So we've received 2 questions from Scott Graham. First question is, Gordon Active Transport Loop project has been referenced through signage inclusion in the 2025-26 budget and articles. A path has been realised in Lyndhurst Street, with further delivery anticipated by the end of 2026. However, the overall scope of the project has not been clearly articulated. What will be the process of community engagement to provide awareness and seek feedback to a yet unknown project scope? Council's response is, Council was successful in sourcing external funds toward footpaths and shared user paths in Gordon, and is currently preparing designs generally in accordance with previously developed concept plans. The project incorporates a shared recreational path from the Gordon Recreation Reserve to the Old Western Highway, including Lyndhurst Street to Paddock Creek Reserve, and footpaths in Main Street connecting the missing links. Council is currently preparing project information sheets and will use this to inform the community ahead of construction that is anticipated to commence towards the end of 2026. Question 2. Despite strategies, improvement schedules and requests for signage to orientate visitors in Main Street, Gordon, no signage has been delivered as yet. What signs will be delivered in Gordon in 26-27? And the Council's response. As per the Moorabool Shire Gateways Framework 2024, Gordon Township has been classified as a Type B village. Type B signs are typically used at prominent township entries. Type B and Type C signs are currently out to market waiting for pricing. Once the signs are procured, the installation is programmed in early 26-27 financial year. Council's visitor economy strategy supports a future signage strategy that considers wayfinding and tourism signage to connect the Shire and its tourism experiences. Any actions from the visitor economy strategy will be considered as part of future budgets.
Thank you. Questions, Councillor Tatchell?
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. I just wanted to note that Mr Graham's in the audience. I don't know whether you needed to speak to that. But,
He's not, no, you can't. Okay. No.
no, I asked earlier before the meeting started, Mr Graham was speaking, he said he was, so
Do you want? No. Okay. Any further questions? Thank you. Moving along, petition request for improved parking on Russell Street in Gordon. Councillors, are there any questions? No questions? We have a recommendation. Can I have someone to move that? Councillor?
Leave it with a question, sorry.
Yeah, Councillor Minari.
I just had a question for planning. What was could you just recall what, no, you might have to take this on notice, I'm not sure, but how long has it been since we approved the application for the the chemist and the doctors there?
Mr. Bezuidenhout.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Through you, that permit was approved by DAC, I think in 2022, and the application was brought to DAC not because of objections, there were no objections, but a waiver of 2 car parking spaces. And at that time, the applicant argued that 6 spaces would be sufficient rather than 8, and it was approved on that basis in 2022.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Through the chair, a further 31 signatures have been added to this petition since the petition was noted on the agenda. So we now have a total of 263 signatories to this petition.
Thank you. Councillor Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Given the number of signatories to this petition, and as the officer said, there's a couple more, subsequent to this meeting tonight, will a response go out to the principal applicant to sort of advise them of where it's at?
Compliance.
Through the chair, that's standard practice. We will advise the head petitioner that it has been listed and of council's decision as well.
Any further questions? Do I have someone to second that? Councillor Sullivan. All in favour? Carried. There are no presentations or deputations. Moving along, Arts and Culture Strategy Review, Communication and Consultation Strategy 11.1. Are there any questions, councillors? Councillor Berry?
I don't have any questions, but I'm happy to move that, Mr Mayor.
Second? Councillor Tatchell. All in favour? Carried. 11.2, response to notice of motion number 346, investigation into the feasibility of establishing a bereavement parent support group within the Maroubra Shire. Councillors, are there any questions?
I'm just happy to move that, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Freeman. Can I have a seconder for that? Seconder, anyone second that? No one? Any opposed? Okay, Councillor Freeman, you're up.
First, I want to acknowledge the work that has gone into this report. It is thorough, it is careful, and importantly, it does not say this cannot be done. In fact, it confirms that a bereaved parent peer support group in Maroubra is feasible. What it does say is that it must be done in the right way, and I agree with that. This was never about asking council to deliver a clinical service. It was never about placing our staff outside their expertise, and it was never about taking on unmanaged risk. What this motion has always been about is identifying a gap in our community and asking how council can help bridge that gap appropriately. Because right now, families in Moorabool who experience the loss of a baby are largely relying on online services, helplines, or travelling outside the Shire. The report confirms that consistent local in-person peer support is limited. I expect some concerns will be raised tonight. One may be that this isn't council's role, but we already play a role in community wellbeing. We already facilitate connections, support vulnerable residents, and provide access to spaces and services. That is exactly what is being proposed here, nothing more. The report is very clear. Council's role would be facilitative. That means improving awareness, strengthening referral pathways, supporting partnerships, and potentially providing access to a venue in line with policy. That is squarely within our community strengthening responsibilities and aligned with our council plan. Another concern may be risk. And yes, bereavement support does carry risk, but the report doesn't present that as a barrier. It presents it as something to manage properly through specialised external providers, trained and supervised facilitators, clear governance and safeguarding frameworks, and appropriate insurance. So the answer here is not to step away, it is to ensure the right model is used, and that model has already been clearly outlined. There may also be a view that there isn't enough data to demonstrate demand, but a lack of precise local data does not mean a lack of need. We know that perinatal loss occurs in every community, including ours. We know that families are already accessing support, just not locally. And we know that even a small number of families experiencing this kind of loss represents a profound and lifelong impact. This is not about large numbers, it's about deep need. I've also heard the argument that other councils are not delivering these services, and that's true, but it actually supports the approach outlined in this report. Other councils are not acting as service providers. They are enabling, facilitating and partnering. That is exactly the model being proposed here. We're not being asked to reinvent anything. We're being asked to connect our community to established specialist-supported models in a local context. Finally, there may be concerns about funding. And again, the report is clear. This does not commit council to funding a program. There are grant opportunities, there are partnership models, there are auspice arrangements. In many cases, the most appropriate applicant is not council at all, but the delivering organisation. Our role is to help unlock those opportunities, not carry the full financial burden. So when we step back and look at this, what are we really being asked to support? Not a new council-run service, not an unfunded liability, not an unmanaged risk. We are being asked to support a pathway that is safe, governed, specialist-supported and community-based. And importantly, something that exists for those who need it without imposing anything on those who do not. This motion was never about council becoming a service provider. It's about council doing what we do best, bringing the right people together to meet a real community need. The report confirms it's feasible. The safeguards are clear. The partnerships exist. So the question before us isn't whether this is possible, it's whether we are willing to take the next step to support families who are currently navigating loss within our local support, without local support or those in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Freeman. Councillor Berry.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I want to acknowledge the intent behind this motion. Supporting parents who have experienced the loss of a baby is incredibly sensitive, and it's something we should approach with genuine care and respect. However, There is already funded bereavement support available through Western Health, a recognised provider, with trained professionals and appropriate clinical oversight. Rather than duplicating services, we should be asking how we can better connect our community to what already exists. Establishing a council-run support group introduces significant risks. We would be dealing with highly sensitive grief and trauma, which requires appropriately qualified facilitators and clinical governance. Without that, there are real concerns around duty of care, public liability and insurance exposure. This type of specialised bereavement support sits outside the traditional role and expertise of local government. Council is not equipped to manage complex mental health needs or crises situations that could possibly arise in such a setting. There is also a risk that a well-meaning but non-clinical group could inadvertently cause harm or fail to provide the level of support participants need. Duplication could also dilute participation in existing professionally run services. And just yesterday, in the Victorian budget, the government announced a Bacchus Marsh Women's Health Clinic. This is an avenue Council could connect to. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Sullivan, would you like to speak? Would anyone else like to speak for or against? Councillor Keogh, are you for or against? Thank you. You want to speak?
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you.
Pardon me. With Council's role limited to facilitation functions such as information and referral pathways and where permitted standard venue access arrangements in accordance with Notice of Motion 346, this report does not commit Council to funding, providing facilities or implementing a program. And if this process helps parents in their bereavement, I can see no reason why I should not support the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Keogh. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? We have a recommendation in front, Councillor Freeman. Jared, you'd like to speak for or against?
Councillor Bingham, Mr Mayor,
Councillor Bingham.
can I ask a question of officers?
Yeah, you may.
Yeah, so my question is, so we have a list of potential delivery models. So number 8 talks about that we can be a referral agency and whatnot. So my question is, when people engage council as it stands, how do we handle those? Do we refer them off already?
Ms McCullum.
Through the chair, yes, currently a family would typically enter in through the maternal child health system, and there's an existing referral pathway that would take place.
Thank you. Okay, any further questions? We have a mover in Councillor Freeman, a seconder in Councillor Sullivan. Closing. Sorry.
I think I've covered just about anything. It's everything. It's not a new council-run service. It's not an unfunded liability. It's safe, it's governed, it will be supported, and it's not going to cost council anything at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Apologies for that. We have a recommendation in front of us, Councillor Freeman, Councillor Sullivan, seconder. All those in favour? So you're not in, all those against? Councillor Tatchell, are you for or against?
No, abstaining.
Okay. Okay. So we have 2 for, 4 against. It's lost.
Division.
All those in favour, stand. Councillor Freeman, Councillor Keogh, Councillor Venditti Taylor, all those against. Councillor Sullivan, Councillor Minari, Councillor Berry and Councillor Bingham. Thank you. Moving along, 11.3, Community Assets Committee's reports. Any questions, councillors? You have a question, councillor Sullivan?
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I just direct you to item 6 in the paper, which is a minutes of the Bacchus Marsh Public Hall CAC 27th of October. And if you just turn to page 66 of the agenda, this is the hard copies, and there's a disclosure of interest, conflict of interest by 2 people in that agenda. So my question is, it's noted in the agenda, but where does it go from there? Do they have to fill out the similar stuff that we do? And where is it logged?
Through the chair, the requirement is still the same for a CAC. A member declaring a conflict of interest should complete a conflict of interest form, remove themselves from the item, similar to what occurs in chamber. The minutes should note the absence from that item and the time they've returned.
So, through you, Mr Mayor, do they actually fill out a form similar to all councils have to do? Please.
Through the chair, councillor Sullivan, I will take that one on notice if you don't mind. We do a thorough induction as part of the CAC process, but I will take that on notice and provide a response.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Do anyone to move that? Councillor Bingham. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Minari. All those in favour? Carried. 11.4, Events Management Policy, Communications and Consultation Strategy. Councillors, are there any questions? Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Berry. A seconder? Councillor Tatchell. All those in favour? Carried. 12.1, Audit and Risk Advisory Committee Half-Yearly Report 25-26. Are there any questions, councillors? Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Berry. A seconder? Councillor Minari. All those in favour? Carried. We have no other reports. We have no notices of motion. We have no notices of rescission. We have the Mayor's report in front of you, councillors. Do I have a mover for that?
I do have just
A
one
question?
question on it too. Thanks, Mr Mayor. It just notes there on the 1st of May you attended the Peri-Urban Group of Rural Councils Victoria board meeting. I didn't see you in the room. I'm just wondering.
I'll have them change that.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you. We've got a mover, a seconder for that? Councillor Freeman. All those in favour? Carried. Councillors' reports. Anything to note, Councillor Sullivan?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I did send in my written report into council. The only thing I would sort of highlight was just something that struck me from the Lau Anzac Day ceremony on Anzac Day, where the MC, Mr Angels Lawrence, said, he made, I think, a profound statement when he said, freedom is not free. And I thought that was sort of really something to think about, particularly on Anzac Day. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kerr.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I've tendered my report in writing and I've got no more to say other than to say that it's been a very busy month.
Thank you, Councillor Kerr. Councillor Tatchell.
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. I didn't write a report, but I'd just like to thank the local RSL in Pippa for the great work she's done and spreading herself across the Shire almost and helping other areas. And also the people of Mernion, which was fairly extraordinary that a town that size could have probably the numbers of a town that size to turn up to these events, and the work that those locals put in. You know, they all got up at 4:30 in the morning and set it up. I mean, it's an extraordinary effort, and I have something to say about Anzac Day and urgent business.
No worries. Thank you. Councillor Minari.
Thank you. Yes, I will submit my report, but I'd like to just, obviously, on the Anzac Day services, obviously we were quite busy that day, but I'd just like to give a shout out to the Bland CWA ladies and members. I think they fed a ton of people that day, and they do an amazing work. So I just wanted to thank them. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Berry.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I too submitted my council report, but just a quick update tonight on Peri-Urban Councils Victoria, May 1st board meeting. We had our usual agenda items, but something that was standing out, our 3 submission papers under PUCV policies. So one that we're quite passionate about was the draft Peri-Urban Councils Victoria UOMO, Universal Outdoor Mobile Obligations, towards Bill 2025 regarding the telecommunications legislation amendment. PUCV welcomed the intent of the bill to improve mobile coverage across Australia. Simply put, it's not just about coverage but reliability. The second paper, policy paper, is falling behind and growing fast. We are asking the Commonwealth to create ABS classification that peri-urban councils to be adopted as a 4th classification in the Australian Statistical Geography Standard, separate from metropolitan, regional and remote. Second point under that is financial assistance grant reform, and then the Local Government Financial Assistance Act 1995 to establish a dedicated formula-based peri-urban component within the FAG program, one that accounts for growth costs. 3, new infrastructure fund, establish a new peri-urban infrastructure growth fund to fund roads, drainage, community facilities, public transport links and planning capacity in recognised peri-urban councils nationally. Policy integration, so embed the peri-urban classification in the National Urban Policy, the Regional Investment Framework and Infrastructure Australia's National Priority Setting Process. And number 5, National Peri-Urban Register, establish a National Peri-Urban Register maintained by the ABS, reviewed every 4 years, with transitional provisions for councils entering or exiting peri-urban status. That was my Peri-Urban Councils Victoria report. But I'd just like to give a big shout out to Marsh Rodders. Sunday the 3rd of May, they had a coffee and cars event in Bacchus Marsh, both sides of the main street, and it was very wet, so they all still attended. There was cars that came from as far as Ballarat. So they were there to support coffee shops and small businesses in the main street. So well done to Marsh Rodders for supporting small business. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bingham.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Just 2 items, just on Anzac Day, and I find myself every single year probably saying the same thing, that the event really is growing and growing. You know, it was a cold morning, but it didn't deter people, and it was by far the largest Anzac Day in Bacchus Marsh that I've ever seen. Whether or not that was the result that Comida weren't running an event, but you know, thank you to all those attended. But also, secondly, I have to acknowledge and pay my respects to Kenneth McDonald, who did recently pass away, and I'm sure that you know, the Comida Avenue of Honour and the committees that he's involved in will never be the same, and I'm sure the community will miss Kenneth greatly.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Bingham. Councillor Freeman.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, I have submitted my report. There is just one I'd like to talk on, is the Mount Egerton Memorial Park Anzac Eve service. This was a deeply moving service attended by students from Mount Egerton Primary and St Patrick's Primary. With quiet respect, the students read poems and gently placed poppies on each of the 54 crosses. These crosses were honouring the local residents who served in the First World War and made the ultimate sacrifice. Their tribute was a powerful reminder that more than 250 men and women from this community answered the call to serve during World War I. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have someone to move that? Councillor Berry. Seconder, councillor Bingham. All those in favour? Carried. Urgent business. Not all councillors are present for urgent business. Can we still ask a question? Councillor Sullivan. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Councillor Sullivan.
First question is, some months ago, weeks, but time does fly. Some months ago, we sort of asked for how much these notices of motions cost, and there was a sort of a ballpark sort of figure. And I was just wondering, has any work advanced in that space to get a more defined cost, Mr. CEO?
CEO.
Chair, I'll double check tomorrow. I did think we finalised some numbers. They might have fallen through a crack, but
Okay.
we did have numbers.
Okay.
I'm happy to follow that up.
Thank you for that. My second question relates to the council meeting framework. We have a deputy mayor, and I'm just thinking, in fairness to the deputy mayor, there needs to be part of the agenda that allows for the deputy mayor to give a report. Otherwise, it gets captured in the general council stuff, and it's not really fair on the deputy mayor to be able to respond on that particular. There's nothing to report, so be it, but I do think we should actually have a position in the agenda which relates to, like, mayor, because we have a deputy mayor. We've actually gone through that process. In fairness, I think we just need to have something slotted in there and allows the deputy mayor to actually raise representing in that position. So just putting it out for consideration. Thank you.
No worries, thank you. Any further questions? The next meeting is the 13th of May, special meeting of council. I declare this meeting closed. No, because it wasn't urgent business.
Yes, but we can still ask questions all the time.
Okay.
That's what we're here.
That's what I asked. If there was a question, would you like to ask a question?
Well, I thought we were doing it around and as we normally do.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not going to happen, so,
I don't know. Are we still online?